You know, there's a question that lives quietly in a lot of hearts. Not loud, not every day, but when you're alone, when you're looking in the mirror, when you're holding your own child, it comes up. Where did I come from? For Melissa Gilbert, that question wasn't just curiosity, it was a part of her. Because she was adopted, just 5 days old, and raised by Paul and Barbara Gilbert, a couple who loved her deeply, gave her a name, a home, and a life in front of the camera. And for years, she was happy. She had everything, a family, a career, the world calling her Laura Ingalls. But still, there was that quiet voice. Who was I before I became her? So in her 20s, she started looking, not for fame, not for drama, but for truth. She filled out forms, talked to investigators, followed leads, and for years, nothing, just silence. Then, one day, a phone number, that's all, 7 digits. But it belonged to David Darlington, her biological father, and after all that time, she called. And when he answered, she didn't say, "Hi, I'm your daughter." She said, "I'm on TV." She told him about Little House on the Prairie, about working since she was 9, about Michael Landon, about the years of filming, fame, and being someone millions thought they knew. And only then did she ask, "Did you give up a daughter in 1964? And he said, "Yes." And then, quiet. And then, "Oh, I know who you are. No, I've missed you. No, I always wondered. No tears, just recognition. Not of a daughter, but of a celebrity." And Melissa wrote later, "It was like talking to someone you met on the street." And can you imagine that? You've waited your whole life for this moment. And when it comes, it feels empty, like you brought your heart to a conversation about the weather. Still, she asked to meet, and he said yes. So she flew to Las Vegas, knocked on his door, and there he was. Not a scholar, not a mystery, just a man. A sign painter, with a life that had moved on. That night, she had dinner at his house, met her biological sister, and over the meal, she learned things about her birth mother, Kathy. She'd been in a motorcycle accident shortly after giving birth. She struggled for years, and in 1980, she passed away. Melissa never got to meet her, never got to hear her voice, never got to ask, "Why did you let me go? Did you ever think of me?" And at the table, her sister shared more. About the family, about alcoholism, about cancer, about pain that ran deep. And Melissa listened. But there was no talk about her birth. No stories from the hospital. No, "I held you for 5 minutes before they took you away." Nothing, just silence, and she wrote, "It was one of the strangest moments I've ever experienced. Not because it was dramatic, but because it wasn't. It was ordinary, and that hurt more than anger would have, because she wasn't searching for a perfect story. She was searching for a connection, and it wasn't there. So she left. Went back to her hotel, closed the door, and cried, not because he was cruel, but because he was distant, like she was just another person passing through. And in that moment, broken, tired, wondering if it was all worth it, she did the one thing that brought her peace. She picked up the phone and called her mom, not her birth mother, the one who raised her, and through tears she said, "It didn't go how I thought." And her mom, so calm, so full of love, said, "This is part of your journey, Melissa. You had to do it for yourself, and now you have. You can do what you want with what you know. The most important thing is that you can move on." And something in her chest settled, because in that moment she realized she wasn't searching for DNA. She was searching for belonging, and she already had it. In the woman on the phone. In the parents who chose her. In the family that loved her, not because of who she was born to, but because of who she was. And that's the truth so many adoptees come to. That family, it's not always about blood, it's about who shows up. Who stays, who says, "You're mine." And for Melissa, that was Paul and Barbara, the ones who held her at 5 days old, who clapped when she got the role of Laura, who stood by her through fame, heartbreak, illness, and loss. They were her family, not by chance, but by choice. And now, years later, Melissa doesn't talk much about David Darlington. There was no reunion, no ongoing bond, just that one meeting. And that's okay, because her story isn't about a happy ending. It's about courage. The courage to ask the hard questions. To face the truth, even when it doesn't heal. And to walk away, not broken, but free. Because she did what she needed to do. She looked. She listened. She learned. And then, she went home. To the love that was always there. So the next time you see Melissa Gilbert, whether she's speaking at an event, hugging a fan, or just walking down the street, don't just see Laura Ingalls, see the woman behind her, the one who searched, who cried, who kept going, and who found peace, not in a bloodline, but in a heartbeat. In a voice on the phone saying, "You can move on," and she did, and we can too. Because whatever your story, adoption, loss, unanswered questions, know this. You don't need a perfect past to have a meaningful life. You just need one person who loves you enough to say, "You belong here." And if Melissa Gilbert, the girl from the Prairie, the woman who carried so much, can find peace, so can you.